Welcome to Make Video Now. My name is James Atkinson and this channel is dedicated to bringing you the best tips and tricks on creating videos to either grow your business, document your life, or take those precious memories of your children and make fantastic home videos. In today's episode, we're going to look at the comparison between the mighty iPhone 11 and the iPhone X. Now, the video that I posted last week was all about the video quality of the iPhone 11 and it is sublime. So if you're looking to upgrade, your 2-year contract is up and you had the iPhone X, what should you go for? Well, we'll find out in this video. So just before you watch these two clips, I want to jump in very quickly before the video starts. I want you to listen to the audio of these clips specifically. You'll hear my bike wheel clicking as I'm pushing it along and filming these clips. And I thought it was a really good way of demonstrating that the iPhone 11 picks up my voice a lot better and cancels out the background noise, whereas the iPhone X is just generally picking up all the sound. It's called stereo sound in the atmosphere. So the clicking is much louder from the bike, and there is nothing done to these audio files. There is no post-processing done to these clips. It is just straight out of the cameras. On with the video. 1080, 30 frames per second. iPhone 11 footage. iPhone X handheld, 1080, 30 frames a second. This is the front-facing camera on the iPhone X. We're at 4K, 24 frames per second, everything straight out of the camera. And you'll see that it's really wobbly in the edges. I personally couldn't use this for vlogging. It's just way too shaky and distracting. This is the front-facing camera on the iPhone 11. This is capable of doing 4K 60. You're currently seeing at 4K 24 frames per second. Again, handheld, straight out in front of me, and the audio is straight out of the phone, no audio attachment. It's massively improved, I feel, the audio quality that you're getting out of this phone over the iPhone X. This is the iPhone X. We are now in 4K, 24 frames per second. This is it for vlogging, and I think it's perfectly satisfactory, but you'll see from the clip that is just about to come up that the iPhone 11 is vastly improved in terms of stabilization. This is a vlogging test on the iPhone 11. This is 4K, 24 frames per second, handheld, just got my arm held out at arm's length. All the audio that you're hearing is straight out of the phone. And I really like this phone for vlogging. It's also got the ultra wide setting, and this is the ultra wide setting that I just mentioned. You'll see a lot more of the background behind me. It's really about immersing your viewer into the picture, into your video, and really seeing the space around you. iPhone X, 60 frames per second, 4K. 60 frames per second is the best frames per second for videoing action. iPhone 11, 60 frames per second, 4K, and as I said, this is the best for fast-moving subjects. iPhone 11, 13mm lens gives you a great perspective on your surroundings. iPhone X, this is the telephoto lens, something that I don't use all that much, but great if you're going to film specific subjects. This is the iPhone 11 13mm 4K, 24 frames per second. 24 frames per second is the best for low light. This is the 13mm lens in 1080p, 30 frames per second, night mode on, and it makes a huge difference to the night quality. iPhone X, 4K, 24 frames per second, 26mm lens. iPhone 11, 24 frames per second, 4K, fantastic low light capabilities. But the standout performance is the iPhone 11 1080p 30 frames per second, night mode on. This thing virtually sees in the dark. This is the iPhone X 1080p 30 frames per second, no night mode available. So I think the conclusion for me is that if you're due to upgrade, then the iPhone 11 is substantially better as far as video quality goes over the iPhone X. The iPhone X stabilization's not as good, the image quality is not as good, and the low light performance isn't as good. So I would say that Apple have done an absolutely outstanding job of improving the camera this time round. It is a dramatic improvement over the iPhone X, and it will be a substantial improvement over the XR and XS phones, which I've seen comparisons of those on other people's channels. And I think you'll see from the footage that you've just watched, the standing shots, the difference is marginal. There is slightly richer colors, it's got slightly more depth of field, and that does have an impact on the overall image quality. But in reality, the 4K out of both, when you're standing still in good lighting conditions, is as good at image quality as most people need to capture their lives with, or even you find professional videographers using clips from their iPhones in their professional video work. I know that's a fact. The iPhone 11 is an absolute beast when it comes to video, and even photography. I think they've made some massive improvements. That's not my bag. I'm not going to talk about the photo quality, but in terms of just getting out amazing stable image in low light, handheld, or just walking down the road. And I know it's all digital image stabilization, which some people poo-poo. There is optical image stabilization in there, and for those of you that aren't sure what that is, optical image stabilization is where the little sensor that picks up the image moves around and tries to balance out some of the shakes inside there using like a magnetic system. And then you've got digital image stabilization, and that's where it's post-processed by the camera to smooth out any jerks or wobbles within the phone itself. So very, very clever technology, doing a wonderful job on the iPhone 11, and the iPhone X digital image stabilization is not quite up to speed in that context. So that is why the iPhone 11 for me wins, and it's well worth the upgrade from the X, the XR, the XS, and any other iteration of the iPhone if you're looking to upgrade. And I don't think the iPhone 11 Pro is necessarily worth the extra telephoto lens, because you can crop 2 times without losing any image quality, which I will show you exactly how to do in a forthcoming video, where we're going to look into editing on LumaFusion, which is a paid app, but a very, very powerful editing tool and a fantastic way of turning your family videos, your presentations, or your promotional videos for your businesses into an absolutely killer video. So until then, look after yourself, have a great week, and hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if you have, then don't forget to smash that subscribe button. So make sure you see the next episode where we're going to talk about editing your videos. So until then, look after yourself, have a great week, and I'll see you very soon.